now, but we try to talk about stuff that truly matters, around the game.
Absolutely.
So, with that being said, let's jump into some of the topics here tonight. First things first, I thought this was cool, and we seen Nick Collins at practice. I think it was yesterday we noticed in one of the images. And Matt Schneidman put this tweet out here, and I don't know why it didn't hit me yesterday. I just kind of thought he was attending practice. And listen, I understand he's not technically on the staff. I completely understand that. But Matt Schneidman put a tweet out, said former Packers safety Nick Collins and Morgan Burnett are among the 15 coaches on Green Bay's staff this spring as part of the NFL's Bill Walsh Diversity Coaching Fellowship. And I just tweeted out, man, he's currently working with the Packers coaching staff, not just attending practice. Heck yeah. Like, what if he does that as a part of that coaching, fellowship, and then all of a sudden Matt LaFleur says, you know what, or Jeff Hafley says, hey, let's give him a job. Let's get him on staff. I would be totally on board with that. I've got so many stories with Nick Collins, Tim. That guy, I will never forget watching his very first regular season snap. I was at that game at Lambeau, and I remember telling Mandy, this rookie's out of Bethune-Cookman College, and I kind of rolled my eyes like, I don't know what the heck he's going to be. Bro, he was the fastest player on the field day one. It was amazing how he would break on the ball, and it was just like, yep, that dude gets it. He'll be around for a long time. Unfortunately, the injury got it, but would be awesome to have Nick Collins on the staff, Tim.
Oh, yeah, I agree. And, I'll tell you, Nick Collins and Morgan Burnett are among my favorite players ever to play in the secondary in Green Bay. I mean, we can talk about Leroy Butler and Charles Woodson, and, we can go down the gamut. But, in recent memory, I was always a huge Nick Collins and a Morgan Burnett fan. Losing Nick Collins to injury really sucked. And the fact that he's back in the building, I can see why you might have thought, hey, it's just, a trip down memory lane or a visit to the facility to say hello and spend some time. But lo and behold, these guys are actually a part of this coaching fellowship program, which is awesome. So I think you're right. Whether it's Nick Collins or Morgan Burnett or both, I mean, if they get a shot at being on this staff, I'm all for it. I mean, you look at the talent we have in the secondary now, and you're going to bring in some guys like this into the fold with Jeff Hafley and Derek Ansley and these guys. Like, it's nothing but good news all around, personally. So hopefully we'll see what happens. I mean, we saw it a few years ago with Al Harris, right? He got a shot as I believe he was part of that coaching fellowship program before he became a coordinator himself, passing game coordinator. So I think this is a good step in the right direction, and it's keeping a fresh crop of, veteran players that aren't, physically playing the game anymore, but giving them an opportunity to stay in football down the long haul. So I think it's a good thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. I think that's a great point, Tim. I was this was really the only thing I got from the pods today. We're listening to the Love the Star pod, the Cowboys podcast. Brian Brodish was talking about how the Cowboys' new head coach Schottenheimer is bringing in old Cowboys players like Michael Irvin and stuff like that to get them to, be in contact with the players, ask them questions, see what's going on, get different points of view. How did you handle this back in the day? How did you handle growing up and like playing in the NFL, things like that? I think that, something like that really does kind of, help the team, because you're bringing back, obviously Green Bay has a bunch of history, but you're bringing back recent history, guys that have literally been in your shoes, played that spot. And it's not just like, it's not just a random coach or anything like that. He was talking about how Bill Parcells used to bring in former Giants to the Cowboys, and they were like, why are you even bringing in former Giants to try to talk to us when we literally just despise that team? Like, that bring back that kind of, that one team mentality. It's for Green Bay, it's for the Packers, and it's for everybody that you're playing with. Doesn't matter the year. And I really think it's awesome. We got a young secondary that can ask a lot of questions. I'm sure X even has a couple for them, but a super young secondary that we can really pick their brains at, add some things. He could probably get talking to Coop, everybody like that. So always something to learn.
Yeah, I immediately thought when I seen Nick Collins out there and then seen this tweet from Matt Schneidman, I thought that's the same path that the Baltimore Raven Ed Reed took, right? And he's in coaching now. Ed Reed was – Bill Belichick talked about Ed Reed being just the sharpest player he'd ever coached against. And then I think there was an NFL Films documentary that it was called Bill Belichick, A Football Life, 2-part series, where they followed him throughout an entire season, and seeing Tom Brady game plan against Ed Reed and the respect they have for him, like Nick Collins had that same type of trajectory. Like people look at Ed Reed like he's untouchable, and I don't want to say he's untouchable, but I can understand why people feel that way. I mean, he's a freaking Hall of Famer, right? Nick Collins was on pace to be that same type of player. How many Super Bowls does Ed Reed have? I think he only has one, I believe, right? Because when Ray got the second one, that was later on after Ed had left, I believe. I could be wrong there. But Nick Collins was, he's got a Super Bowl ring, and this dude was just, pick 6 in the Super Bowl, all the things you look for in a big-time player. That guy's he's a real deal. So when I seen that, I thought Ed Reed, this might make a lot of sense, man. And no better way to get back into the game, obviously, with the career getting cut short like that, than to get into coaching and helping the younger players. Because, like Coach Lynn said in the chat, that dude knows how to play safety. There ain't no two ways about that, for sure. And the other thing, too, somebody said something in here just now. It was about the injury. I can't find it now. The chat's on fire. Appreciate everybody hanging out with us. There we go. Professor Cakes. Nick Collins' injury literally hurts my soul.
Yep.
It's why when players hold out, like I try not to hold a grudge. Like it's like, man, you got to understand. And Wildy has told this story, Jason Wildy, that Nick Collins thanked him for kind of going to bat for him in the media that year because he kept trying to say, hey, listen, this guy, you never know what's going to happen. Lo and behold, he holds out, gets a contract, gets that payday, and then the next year his career ends with an injury. And he would have been out all of that, that money. So
yep.
That's why I try to kind of hold judgment on that stuff. Listen, I want every player under contract to get out there. Don't get me wrong. But at the same time, and you got to try to understand both sides of the equation. Again, if we as fans are going to get mad when the player holds out, then we better get mad at the team for cutting them when they got years left on their contract because it goes both ways. It really does. So
I think that's fair, 100% fair. I remember that game when he got hurt. One of those freak things. It wasn't a dirty play. It was just him trying to go in there and make a play, and just your heart stops. You literally you just stop and you look, and it's scary. It's terrifying, and you feel for these players because you're right, Clay. Like what will we be talking about if he never signed that deal? Like it's tough, and it has to go both ways. You can be a fan and defend the team. We're fans of the team first, player second, right? Players come and go, the team stays. Okay, I get it, but respect is a two-way street, right? And everything else in life goes both ways, right? So if you're going to call it one-sided, you got to apply it both ways. So I'm with you on that one, Clay.
I don't know, Tim. It's 2025, man. There's only one way to skin a cat in 2025. You know what I mean? PETA might be all over me for that comment. I was just joking. It was just a joke. Calm down. But no, it does seem like in today's society, it's like if you don't believe the way I believe, you're a moron. And I'm removing you from my life rather than us sitting down and going, we can agree to disagree. No big deal, So Holmes MD1 says Butler hit as well. I wasn't a Packer fan when Leroy Butler's career came to an end. I don't believe. I'm not sure how long he played. I don't remember him being on the Packers when I became a Packer fan back in 03, I think it was, 02. Did he have a career-ending injury too, Tim? Do you remember? Do you guys know I know Emilio don't know the answer to that because he was –
I don't know if it was career-ending injury or injuries led him to just retire, hang it up. I can't confirm that. So
gotcha, got it. But yeah, nonetheless, there, man. Boy, Holmes just brung up Sharper. I don't want to get too deep into the weeds here. He said, sadly, Sharper and Robinson were good as well. Safety room resembled a jail cell. LOL. He said, Leroy Butler, no, he didn't have an injury. I meant he lit guys up. Okay, gotcha. So the whole
2001, Clayton. Leroy retired in 2001.
Sense, right?
Yeah.
I remember him in the 90s. Like, I remember being like, this dude's a dog. Like, he was unbelievable playing down in the box. They flex him to the nickel every now and then as well. Like, he would do all kinds of stuff. But back to that Darren Sharper comment. I watched a documentary the other day. I knew he got put in jail, and it was kind of a weird situation. It was just almost like he got tried real quick and he was gone. I never really looked into it. I looked into it the other day and watched a documentary. Man, that got dark quick. Holy cow. That was tough. That was a tough watch. Like, because I remember him being just a dominant player, both for the Packers and the Saints. And not that football should ever be more important than the stuff that's involved in that whole trial and process. But that blew me away. I was like, maybe that's why I don't hear about it. And I'm not going to give details on here. It's not this kind of show. I'm not here to drag people through the mud or anything like that. But it was just like, whoo, that one took me off guard.
Best thing about Darren Sharper.
The rest of the day.
Yeah, Clay, the best thing about that was that video that dude made. The one that made the Greg Jennings
Right.
with the broken leg. Darren Sharper, one of the hardest hitting safeties in the league. Like that was the peak.
Yeah.
I think it's a great example, though, Clay. Like you said, you can be a great player, but if you're not a great person, it's going to show. It's going to shine through. And, it's sad. We look for both, right? We like great people and great players in Green Bay. We talk about what the Packer mold is, right? And character and things like that. Not to say that good people don't do bad things or make mistakes, but yeah, I mean, we don't have to go into details. It's public knowledge. You guys can Google it. You know what's going on with him. But I don't think, that being said, yeah, one of the hardest hitting safeties we've had, obviously, but certainly gets dark pretty quick when you start Googling Mr. Sharper, right?
Yeah, that documentary was put together really well. I thought about doing stuff like that on the channel, like little mini documentaries, like a 15, 20-minute clip of, hey, here's the story of this player, here's the story of that player, here's a controversial moment in Packers history. Here, there's a couple channels I like that. I just can't bring myself to do it because I want to focus on positive stuff if at all possible. And we get off the rails in here and we joke a lot and this and that. But it's all in fun. It's all in, we're here to have a good time, cut up. We make fun of ourselves. We make fun of each other. I don't want it to turn into a channel where it's like, oh, here's the depressing topic. Let me spend 20 minutes of my life. Because I got done with that documentary and I was like, man, I just want to go to sleep. Like, I don't want to deal with anything. It was that bad. I felt really, really bad the rest of the day.
Yeah.
You'd like to think that kind of stuff doesn't happen. Goodness, I guess it does. So anything else on Nick Collins? I will wrap it up this way. Nick Collins is a real deal. Top-notch dude, hard worker, overachiever, team player, got a Super Bowl ring, everything you're looking for in a coach. So I got really excited just to think there's this much of a chance that the coaching staff says, hey, why don't we just go ahead and hire him? That would be absolutely awesome. Anything else on that, fellas? We good.